Hello and welcome to another beautiful day right here on the Oweleketv. This is time for Outnumbered, and we're reaching you live and direct from the capital city, Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course, I'm not here alone. I have Anthony Anwokolo.
Hello,
Good
Ramsey.
morning.
Good morning.
You're looking very, very beautiful as usual.
Thank you very much. How was your weekend?
Yeah, my weekend was beautiful. I think I had a little time.
I like the way Michael is just rubbing his
No,
hands.
Michael.
It's
I
like he
told
has a lot to
Michael.
tell us today.
I told Michael, why are you looking beautiful instead of looking handsome?
Handsome.
I told you before we came up on
And I
air.
say the Lord is good. I enjoy divine rejuvenation.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Joining us today on Outnumbered is Michael. Okay, Michael, it's good to have you.
It's good to be here.
Well, I don't know, but then I think Michael is going to do part of the review, but no raw.
I
We're
like
just
it,
going
bro.
to talk about the headlines today.
All right, quickly, let's bring you to speed with the headlines that we have for the day, and beginning from the nation's newspaper. Above the head, I have this headline which says why UK stopped students from bringing families by envoy. Details on page 5 of the nation's. Zenith Bank's gross 781 billion naira in first quarter. And another one says Lagos government reassures residents of their safety. Details on page 22. And the big story from the nation's newspaper this morning. The kicker says Vice President Shetima in Texas for U.S. African Business Summit. Details on page 5. That's a story on its own. Then the big story now. Government begins disbursement of 50 billion naira grant to small firms. This is a good news for me, but then I think there is something about this. You'll get to know much later as we proceed with the program. And one writer to that story. And the writer says 1 million businesses in 774 local councils to benefit from the cash. And finally, from the nation's newspaper, banks await CBN's decision on submitted recapitalization plans. One writer to that story, and I will be done from here. It says how financial institutions plan to raise 8 trillion naira. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the nation's newspaper this morning.
Away from the nation's newspaper, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. And the big story here says Lagos to Calabar Highway. That's the kicker of the story. Telcos fares fear shut down as construction threatens cables. I'll take that again. Lagos to Calabar Highway. Telcos fear shut down as construction threatens cables. The details of that is on page 33 of the Punch newspaper. And we'll have just a rider to that story. Undersea fire cables linking Europe to Nigeria pass through construction corridor. This is coming from Alton and Atcon. Moving away from that, NDLEA seizes 4,752 kg cannabis concealed in Abuja gas tanker. NDLEA seizes 4,752 kilograms cannabis concealed in Abuja gas tanker. The details of that is on page 4. And 80% of Lekki buildings have no approval. This is coming from the Lagos state government. And finally, major marketers demand more fuel as depot stock drops. And that'll be size of the headlines from the Punch newspaper. Over to you, Michael.
Away from the Punch newspaper, we have the Nigerian Tribune. Exporters abandon 616 containers inside Lagos Port APM terminals. Details of that is on page 7 of the Tribune. Zenith Bank shows continued market leadership with 189% growth in QI earnings. Details of that is also in page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also have the US French military base, CUPP, MBF, ex-DSS boss orders caution FG. Details of that is in page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Moving down, we have to stop FG loss of 9 billion annually. How we will tackle illegal miners. EFCC sets up monitoring sections in all formations. We have convicted 4 Chinese illegal miners in Ilori, EFCC spokesperson says in Nigerian Tribune. Also downwards, we have domestic airfares remain high despite Despite reduction of aviation fuel caused by Dangote, new pump price yet to take effect. I guess the masses will be happy about that because if the fuel pump price comes down, that means automatically it reflects on the price of translation fare, which everybody's crying about right now. Gist of that is on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, thank you very much, Michael, for those headlines. Let's go to the Daily Trust, and that's going to be the last for today. Below the header, this headline says the federal government to reconnect 8 Sokoto local government areas to national grid after 10 years blackout. I can imagine. When I saw this headline, I was wondering, 10 years of blackout.
Oh my God.
10 years.
So they've been living with lanterns,
With
torches,
lanterns,
just
and
like being in hell.
generators.
Candles for 10 years.
That's just like hell because at the time the candles and the lanterns there'll be nothing to light. Some people just sleep in darkness.
And I'm even thinking about the harm to the eyes, the smoke and all of
In
that.
that situation, some rats will leave the bushes and come and sleep with some people. They don't even know.
That's it. And that's true. Well, federal government have reconnected its Sokoto local government areas to national grid after 10 years of blackout. More coming from the Daily Trust newspaper. FAANNSA moved to stop multiple checks at airports. Details on page 15. Lagos market clash. That's the kicker. Unions threaten to cut tomato supply to Lagos. I don't know why that should happen. Whatever the problem is, if there is a clash in the market, they shouldn't make everyone suffer for it. Because if tomato supply is cut short to Lagos State, meaning they wouldn't be bringing tomato to Lagos State market. So what would the people do? I don't know. But then I think the state government should do something and look into the situation. Then the big story from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. NAF air strikes kill many terrorists in Borno, Niger. Details on page 4. NAF airstrike. Remember the last airstrike that killed a lot of people in Kaduna State?
Yeah,
and
this one again.
This one again. NAF airstrike killed many terrorists. But this time it is terrorists, but not innocent people like
yes.
it was in Kaduna State. I think this is a good one. All right, just the last from here. War on Gaza. Israel shoots Al Jazeera's office. War on Gaza, that's the kicker. Israel shoots Al Jazeera's office. One writer to that story, US police arrest more pro-Palestinian protesters. Details on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the papers today. If anyone interests you, just get to the vendor, the newspaper stand, pick anyone that you're interested in and go through it for yourself. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we'll talk about the disbursement that is ongoing. Has it gotten to every nook and cranny? Is everyone getting it, or there are some people that will get it? More details after the break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleket.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. Is still outnumbered live on your screen, reaching you live and direct from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. On Oweleketv today, the big story is about federal government starting the disbursement of 50 billion naira grants to small firms. This sounds like a good news, yeah? It is a good news. It's not sounding like a good news. It is a good news, but then, who is going to get this disbursement? They said nano businesses, meaning SMEs, all right? That is small, okay? Small business owners are supposed to get this. Let me just read a little from what the Nation's newspaper is saying. Beneficiaries of the federal government's 50,000 grant for nano business owners have started receiving credit alerts, all right? Beneficiaries of the federal government's 50,000 naira grant for nano business owners, nano business owners. I want us to underline that have started receiving credit alerts. Did you get any?
No.
You're not in nano business owner.
Do you have a nano business?
Do you have a nano
That's another
business?
question.
Well, the Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, who confirmed this at the weekend, said no fewer than 200,000 small business owners have received the payment. Remember, 200,000 have received the payment. According to her, 800,000 others will get their grant before the close of the program by May 31st, because originally it's supposed to be 1 million nano business owners that are supposed to get this. 200 have gotten already, 800 remaining. But something, I don't know, unlike the way it used to be, we didn't hear of this. Maybe because of the situation, they don't want to disclose that they got this money so that people don't come disturbing. Unlike before, you see it everywhere on social media when people are collecting this money. And this will bring the total number of beneficiaries to 1 million Nigerians across the 774 local government areas in the country. Then, what is the criteria, okay, for this disbursement? What have they put in place to checkmate the proper disbursement, if this disbursement is going to be done properly? How do we know these people actually got this money? How do we ascertain the numbers that actually, the actual number that got this money? These are questions on my mind. So, Antonia, what do you think? This is a good one. It's a welcome development. And sometimes somebody may say, 50,000 naira, though it's small, but then they're talking about nano businesses. It's better to get it. But then, what do you think about this whole exercise?
Okay, I think it's a very good one from the government for 200 persons to have received their grants out of the 1 million.
According to the minister.
According to the minister, that 200 persons have received out of, I think it's a good one. But then again, like you mentioned, what are the criteria for it not to have been on the press, like a detailed criteria for applying for the grants? Because definitely you will not just randomly pick.
Yeah,
you have to
true.
carry out research to know which businesses actually need these funds. Because now the nano businesses are talking about businesses that have 1 or 2 workers. So for instance, you started up a business and you have 1 or 2 workers, that's a nano business, and you are that's one of the criteria for you to get this. But apart from that, there are some people that have businesses and are at the verge of folding up, and even if they get this grant, they're like, let me just get it and keep it in my pocket. What are there regulatory bodies to ensure that these people actually make use of the money? Because even empowerment programs that we've seen state governments do in times past, or even the federal government, after they empower these people, we don't hear anything from them anymore. We don't hear. It's more like they just came in for that one-time thing. Let's just get the benefits and move on with life. So I think the government should actually follow through this process.
The government should actually follow through the process, because sometimes you give out this money, nobody is supervising the people to whom this money was given. I heard of a time when they were trying to give grant like this to people who are into farming, and some persons applied, and when they were trying to carry out the check to really see their farm, they discovered that some persons are not really farmers. Okay, the places they say their farms are, they went there and it was just dry ground, bush somewhere. So let me come to you. According to the information that we have here, this is part of the palliatives that was announced by the president on July 31st. That was last year, to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. Do you see this, okay, good enough to cushion the effect of the subsidy that is being removed? 50,000 naira to nano business owners.
When you mentioned palliative, I started laughing, you know.
He's laughing again.
Because I know some people who actually got the palliative, even though they are not in Nigeria. I have friends outside.
Outside Nigeria?
Who received palliative outside the country, actually. They were like, I was there and I received. That's on a lighter note. Have you received the palliative?
I didn't receive anything. Did you?
No, I did not.
So come back to reality. All right. Now, the first criterion that I noticed the federal government listed was every small-scale business owner must have a registered BVN account and an NIN, National Identification Number, which, you know, some people reluctantly were thinking they were actually being compelled to do that. You can see right now how important it is for you to have your BVN and your NIN. Very, very correct, because this 50K will be deposited in everyone's personal account. So you don't have to go queue to collect 50,000. It gets to your account once it is verified that you have a business you're doing, not just that you're collecting that, trying to dupe the government. And also the president announced by the weekend that 75 manufacturers or manufacturing firms will be getting 1 billion also to support also. So it is not just going to small business owners in 774 local governments, aside from the FCT. It's also benefiting those who are into manufacturing. 1 billion digits going
Okay,
to
that was a promise that came from the
from the
president.
presidency.
Okay,
Absolutely, yeah.
but it has not started yet. That's part of the
Yeah,
promises.
that's part of the promises.
Out of the
made.
numerous promises,
promises,
that's
yeah.
one of it.
Ramsey emphasized on the numerous.
I need to emphasize because
It
we've had
felt
a
like
lot
there
of
was-
promises
there was
coming
an
from the
inverted
president.
comma.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
The
a lot of
numerous.
promises. You know, when they came into office, a lot of promises came.
Mm-hmm.
We're even glad that this disbursement is happening now. Let's get to hear from those of you that have gotten this money, all right, if this money actually got to you or not, so that we can actually know the minister and the president and this administration is working. Then those that are waiting for the big one, the manufacturers, let's keep our fingers crossed. But then I think more is expected. I'm just getting to know that some persons got palliative outside Nigeria while people in the country never got. Well, I don't know, but then I think this should be the size of the big story for this morning because of our time. You can do well to follow us on YouTube. Oweleketv is the name of the channel. Turn on the notification button so you will be the first to get notified when vital informations are being dropped on the channel. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and it's been Antonia and Michael. Do have a beautiful day. We'll come on your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.